Students, welcome to the social studies class history lesson number 1 sources of medieval India. What is the sources of medieval India? History. What is history? History is the study of the past events. That is, the events already happened. So the study of the past events is called history. Our Indian history has divided into 3 categories. One is ancient period, medieval period and modern period. The period between the ancient period and modern period is called medieval period. In 6th standard itself you have learned ancient period. So in 7th standard we are going to deeply see about the medieval period. So before we know about the medieval period, we need some sources to know about that. So that's why in this lesson we are going to see about the sources of medieval India. Medieval period has further divided into 2 categories. One is early medieval period, another one is later medieval period. Sources. What are the sources available to know about the medieval India? There are numerous sources available. They are inscriptions, monuments, coins which left by the people who are called Arab, Persian, Turks. Arab, Persian, Turks. These people, everyone are Islamic people who ruled over our India in the period of medieval. So the medieval period of India is also called as Islamic period. These sources are written in the language of hyperbolic language. What is this hyperbolic language? It's nothing but exaggerating the achievements. That is, exaggerating the achievements of the kings. So they have said the sources are written in the hyperbolic language. For better understanding, they have divided the sources into 2 categories. One is primary sources, another one is secondary sources. Primary sources also called as archaeological sources. Secondary sources also called as literary sources. Primary sources consist of inscriptions, monuments and coins. Secondary sources consist of literary works, chronicles, travelogues, biographies and autobiographies. First we are going to see about the inscriptions. Inscriptions. What is inscriptions? In Tamil we can say inscription as kalvettukkal. That is, inscriptions are writings. What they are saying? Inscriptions are writings which engraved on the solid surface. Solid surface like rocks, stones, temple walls. These are all examples for the solid surface. So inscriptions are writings which engraved on the solid surface. What are the things available in the inscription? That is, king's loyal decrees, that is the orders of the kings, next dedication and donation of the kings and their victories and memory of the warriors, that is who are all the soldiers, they sacrifice their life for the kings, everything is described in the inscriptions. Next one is, in this inscription, copper plates. Copper plates treated as a legal document in the medieval period. Copper plates consist the information about the both giver and the receiver. Giver and receiver, what is that? That is, if the king donates the land to the people, both information will be described on the copper plates. So the copper plate describe the information about both giver and the receiver. Copper plate grants mostly issued during the later Chola period. In which period? Later Chola period, copper plate grants were issued. In which, what is the time of the later Chola period? 10th to 13th century. 10th to 13th century. Various types of land donated by the Chola king. They are Velan Vagai. What is that? Velan Vagai. That is the land of non-Brahmin people. Non-Brahmin people who did agriculture in the period of medieval time, they have donated Velan Vagai land to the non-Brahmin people. Next one is Brahmadeya. What is that? Brahmadeya is a land gifted to Brahmins. The people who are all Brahmin, they got the land called as Brahmadeya. Next one is Shalabhoga. What is that? Shalabhoga is a land for the maintenance of a school. Especially for school, they have allotted some lands. Those lands are called as Shalabhoga. Next one is Devadana. What is that? Devadana. Devadana is a land gifted to temples. Devadana. The name Devadana itself we find the land gifted to the temple. Next one is Pallichandam. What is that? Pallichandam is a land which donated to the Jaina institutions. Due to the high cost of copper plates, made palm leaves and paper cheaper alternatives in 13th century onwards. Metal, mostly metal is costliest one. So the high cost of copper plates which give a way for the arrival of palm leaf and paper for the better purpose in the century of 13th century onwards. Next one is stone inscriptions. Stone inscriptions which mostly focus on the giver. In a copper plate, what we have seen in copper plate which focuses on both giver and the receiver. In contrast, the stone inscriptions focus on the giver alone, that is the who donate the particular things, they mostly described about them, that is the focus on the giver. Best example for the stone inscriptions are, one is Tiruvalangadu plates of Rajendra Chola, another one is unbuilt plates of Sundara Chola. These two Cholas kings stone inscriptions are very famous. Next one is Uttaramerur inscription, that is in Kanjipuram now. So the Uttaramerur inscription mostly contain the information about the village administration held in the period of medieval India. So Uttaramerur inscription in Kanjipuram which describe the information about the village administration. Let me see about these pictures now. See here students, these are all the pictures of Tiruvalangadu plates of Rajendra Chola. Next one is unbuilt plates of Sundara Chola, and another one is Uttaramerur inscription which described about the village administration held in the medieval period. Okay students, next important primary source of medieval India is monuments. What is monuments? That is temple, palaces, mosques, tomb, forts, minars and minarets. These are all collectively called as the monuments, that is very important buildings which were built during the period of medieval time. So this is the best source for the primary sources to know about the medieval India. Okay. Here the Sultan of Delhi, they have introduced a new type of architecture. Their architecture has three main features in their buildings. One is arches, next one is domes, next one is minarets. Arches is nothing but it's a curve shaped entrance. You already seen in mosques, there at all you can see the type of arches. And next one is domes. Dome is a semicircled roof which present in the Mughals architecture. Next one is minarets. Minarets is just like tower which surrounds their buildings. So these are all the main features of the Mughals architecture. So the inscriptions which is present on these monuments help us to know about them. So here some example for the monuments of North India. First, Khajuraho temples, that is in Madhya Pradesh. Next one is the temples in Konark, that is in Odisha. In Konark city, the Sun temple is very very famous ma. With this we can find more information about the medieval period rulers. And next one is very very important monuments of medieval time is Dilwara temple, that is in Mount Abu. Very important South Indian monuments are, one is Pragadishwara temple in Tanjore. Next one is Gangaikonda Cholapuram, Tanjore. And next one is Dharasuram temple in Kumbakonam. The Pragadishwara temple, Tanjore, was built by Rajaraja Cholan in the year of 1010. And next one is Gangaikonda Cholapuram. This temple was built by Rajendra Chola, who was the son of Rajaraja Chola. And next one is Dharasuram temple in Kumbakonam. It's actually the temple of Airavadishwarar temple. These three temple of Tamil Nadu was built during the period of later Cholas. And next one is Vitala and Virupaksha temple, that is in Hampi, which explains the rulers of the Vijayanagara. See here students, very important mosques of medieval times. I told you medieval time is actually Islamic period. That is Islamic people, Mughal people have ruled in the time of medieval time. So they have built a lot of mosque. That especially they have given Quad al-Islam Mosque, Masjid, Jama Masjid, Fatehpur Sikri Dargah, Charminar in Hyderabad. So these are all the very important mosques which give them much information about the rulers who ruled in the period of medieval time. So the above I said everything is religious based. Next important historical forts of India is, one is Agra Fort, next Chittor Fort, next Gwalior Fort, and Delhi Red Fort. These are all very important forts of the medieval India. So apart from the religious based monuments and forts, we have some other monuments. They are palaces. Palaces in Jaipur, Jaisalmer and Jodhpur, which signifies the greatness of the Rajput dynasty that has very enormous power in the place. Next one is Qutub Minar and Alai Darwaza and the tombs of Iltutmish, Balban, and all the Mughal rulers are the other prominent structures which recognized as a valuable source of information. Next one is cities. Cities in the stage of ruin such as Firozabad and Tughlaqabad in North India and Hampi in South India remain rich repository of history of medieval India. Rest of the sources we will see in a next class, students. Thank you.